How you doing? Now it seems to be working properly. Sorry about that. So if you saw the one that we just started and it glitched out, apologize. For some reason, the signal was not very good, so I decided to just cut it off, restart it. But either way, today is Thursday, and today's topics we're going to be talking about something pretty interesting that most of you guys would probably have questions about, which is essentially just financial insights for buyers. Talking about essentially what do you need to do to prepare to get a loan. I mean, it seems stressful sometimes as far as it might be too much. Before I get into that, también les quiero recordar que yo soy Jan Madrid. Aquí estoy para ayudar a asistir en conseguir una casa móvil. Tenemos de todas las diferentes casas y ahora vamos a estar hablando sobre las finanzas y las cosas que se deben de hacer para estar preparados para comprar una casa móvil. All right, guys. I also like to always, initially start off the video in English and Spanish, just to let everybody know I am bilingual. We do speak English and Spanish. But again, today we're going to be discussing financial insights for buyers, like basically the do's and don'ts. Again, it'll be a longer form video, but this is the kind of stuff that you're going to get access to as part of Move In Next University, as well as the long form educational form for finance, house purchasing, investments, all kinds of good stuff. So make sure as you enter the live, like it, please, share it, please, and then also comment value, because that's what we're trying to provide you. Not just a good price on a home, which of course we are, but at the same time, we're trying to provide you guys value in exchange for your time as you consider the home buying process. All right. Okay. So financial insights, like we just said, for buyers. All right. The keys to becoming a homeowner. All right. So it seems pretty simple, but we're literally going to go over what it's going to take to become a homeowner, if that's what you want to do. And we should all want to become homeowners, right? Okay. So right here, for example, it's going to talk about, let's see, I'm going to switch it over this way. Boom. Sorry about that. It's going to talk about, sorry about that, overview of financing options of manufactured housing. So the types of loans, loan terms, conditions, eligibility criteria, and whatnot. So in that type of situation, what we're talking about, and again, we're not the bank, so I can't tell you it's going to be 7%, or it's going to be this, or it's going to be that. But what I can tell you is what I know. Give me 1 second here. Sorry about that. You got to love live. So on live. Okay. Either way, so we're going to do an overview of finance, options for manufactured homes. Again, the different types of loans, all the different types of questions you guys would probably have when it comes to buying a manufactured house. Types of loans, like, well, I mean, if you're not dealing with finance on a daily basis, you might think to yourself, well, I didn't know there was more than one kind. Well, there are. There's conventional, there's FHA, there's VA, there's USDA, there's chattel, there's land home. There's all kinds of different types of loans. And that's the reason that here at Move In Next, with myself, John Madrid, Factory Direct, and staff and team, we make it a point to point out that we're simplifying this process. It can be confusing, but we oversimplify it. We take you guys, in other words, you don't even have to bother going in to a lot. I'm not saying not to. I'm just saying with us being 100% online and dealing Move In Next, Move In Ready type situations. Basically, we educate you right here, face-to-face video or on the phone or whatever the case may be, and explain the differences. And that's why, of course, we want to get to know you, your family, how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, what your goal is. But ultimately, what I like to do on your behalf is just say, hey, we wrote down everything that, you and your family need, what you want. Our goal is to get you everything you want, but at least try to make the everything you need as close as possible, if no gap at all, if that makes sense. But we like to ask the bank, okay, what's the most you'll lend this client? And not because we're trying to get you to overspend, but if you are going to overspend, it needs to be on a house, not on a car or on a purse or something, but just to find out what your buying power is. So in that situation, what's the most you'll lend these clients on this app? And what's the least amount of money that you'll take down? And it's typically a percentage of whatever that maximum is. Now, once we get that pre-qualification, that's the reason we don't ask for any deposits or nothing. We're like, hey, fill out the link, click the QR code, and let's get you pre-approved. Like, I don't even want to think about asking you guys, I'm going to put the QR code up there since I talked about it, ask you guys for deposit before I provide the answer, the funding, the ability to be able to purchase. So over here, let's see here, boom, you'll see the QR code at the top of this description. You'll see the link. So apply. Let us figure out what that buying power is and what we can do for you. Okay. So either way, the different types of loans. All right. Loan terms and conditions. Learn about typical loan terms, interest rates, down payments, requirements for each loan type so you know what to expect. Again, the best thing I can say is because we are not a MLO, so that's going to be a mortgage license originator, somebody who does the loans. I mean, we can send you the rate sheet and all that, but if you're interested in buying, apply. Again, so I can figure out what you can buy by you applying, figure out the maximum that you're able to qualify for with the minimum down payment. And then we figure out, hey, from what they gave you, you don't have to use it all. Here's the 17 options we have, or here's the 2 we have, whatever, as many as we have, we're going to provide you the most options. And then right off of that, since we applied directly from the bank, they're going to tell you the loan, how many years, what the interest is, all the questions you have. So we can't sit here and be like, it's going to be A, B, C, D, F, G. No, but you know what? Fill out the link. Don't even give us a deposit. Let us send it in, figure out your buying power, and we'll know exactly what it is. And we send it to multiple lenders. So that means that, and it doesn't hurt your score to do that, just so you know. We send it to multiple lenders so we get you the best offers so that we can provide you with hopefully multiple approvals and say, here you go. Which one do you prefer? What seems the best? And keep in mind, don't ever allow yourself to get sticker shock, because the purpose of a home loan is to get the maximum years. I know it sounds crazy, the most that they'll give you with the least amount of money down, because every single lender has a no early payoff penalty, which means if you can get the max years, which sounds crazy, with the minimum down, even if you have more to put down, just put some to the principal and we'll come up with a, structured plan so you can pay off that 25-year loan in, let's say 5 years or 7 years or whatever the situation may be. Don't even sweat what's on the term. Tell me what you'd like to happen. Let us get you in the least expensive and we'll come up with a specialized plan just for you. Okay. So eligibility criteria. It says, understand the eligibility requirements for each loan type, including loan limits, credit score requirements, and property standards. Okay, so I'd like to highlight this a little bit. So understanding the loan type, again, that's going to really just come down once we get the approval. Income limits, credit score requirements. Okay, so I really like to point that out a lot. A lot of people think that their credit's just not good enough, so they don't bother to try. Try anyways, because with Move In Next University, if you get declined due to credit score, we have programs that we can do for you. And yes, it costs money, but it's cheap, very inexpensive, because we do it at our cost for you. So if we need to do a rapid rescore or a credit repair or a DTI plan or whatever it is, we'll fix the problem for you. But if you just keep postponing and just putting it to the side, you're never going to be able to buy. You're always going to be renting. You're always going to be living with family. And I'm not hating on that. I'm saying that if you have someone offering you the solution, take it. Okay. All right. So again, that goes into that stuff. It says understanding grants and assistance programs. I mean, obviously there's federal programs. For example, Good Neighbor Next Door, HUD Home Investment Programs, FHA, VA. So it says state, local options. Essentially, there's too many programs for you guys in different ways to get into a home. There's really no excuse, because they're telling you there's federal programs, there's state and local programs, there's eligibility and application processes to get those grants. So if you're willing to do a little bit of paperwork, you might even be able to get into a house for nothing. So again, if you're not happy with your living situation, and I hope you are, I mean, I'm not sitting here saying your living situation is not great. I hope it is. But even if it is for you and you know someone who could benefit from an upgrade in a house or manufactured home or affordable housing, definitely Factory Direct John Madrid, Move In Next, and staff is the one to call. And below here también hablamos español, so le podemos ayudar a cualquier persona, inglés en español. El número es 432-201-1105. Just recapping, guys, we do speak English and Spanish. And again, we're open late. Phone number at the bottom, 432-201-1105. All right. So then it says budgeting for your manufactured home. Okay, so if you want a budget, I mean, sometimes we budget for a car or we budget for furniture. Why wouldn't we budget for a home, right? So it says, creating a realistic budget. Okay, additional cost, emergency fund. When I say a realistic budget, what that really means is, for example, I mean, if you guys, let's just say the average cell phone bill today is probably between $200 to $300. Okay, it's unrealistic to just come in and be like, hey, I want my payment to be $350 on my house, and I want a double wide on land. And I'm just giving an exaggeratory example. Of course, nobody really thinks like that. But again, just setting a realistic budget, because the bank, again, the way we operate, since we get you the max approval, minimum down, we're already going to know what your budget is. But I'm just saying, when you come in, be prepared to say, you know what? If I'm happy with my home and my situation, I'd be willing to pay blank as long as the bank approves me, so that you feel comfortable going forward, especially knowing we're going to make you a customized plan on how to pay the home off early. All right, additional cost. Whenever that says, and I'm going to kind of just go ahead and skip to it, realistic budget, 43% DTI based on gross pay. I'm going to do a different video because it's a whole lot of information about what that means. But what that's saying is that's a percentage of your total pay before taxes are taken out that the bank considers to figure out what you can get approved for. And then it says minus revolving credit. Revolving credit means credit cards. It could also be installment credit, like any kind of payday loans or furniture loans, just any other kind of loans you have out. They don't count against you your electricity or your insurance or your groceries. It's just any other things you have out on credit. Housing budget is what remains. So in other words, I'm going to do a whole nother video on DTI, housing budget, the way it breaks down with a full-blown example. But again, my biggest takeaway from creating a realistic budget is just come up with a number every month that you know that you're comfortable with paying, as long as obviously the bank approves you for it, and be happy with it so that you're happy with your house. Okay. Additional costs. Just remember, the cool part is when you do a loan for a manufactured home, they include the taxes and the insurance interest free. So you only pay interest on the home. Maintenance, change out your air filters, your light bulbs, pay your electricity bill, your water bill. In other words, it's just reminding you, remember, even though you buy a house, you still got to have internet if you want it, right? Nothing crazy. Emergency fund. This is more of just a financial advice for everybody out there, even if the only thing you take out of this video is this one slide. Regardless of home or not, you should always have an emergency fund, your rainy day fund, what people call like, oh, if something really happens, have it anyway, regardless of whether you buy a house or not. So it talks about me emphasizing the importance of having the emergency fund for unexpected expenses that may arise. And it says after purchasing a home, even if it isn't about purchasing a home, you need to be doing this anyway. Okay. So make sure, and this is me personally putting something in there, make sure that you save 10% of your total income every month and put it in a bank account that you forget about. You pretend it's not there. So if you make $1,000 a month, put $100 to the side. If you make $10,000 a month, put $1,000 to the side. Do it, and it'll make your life a whole lot easier. Okay. So either way, emergency fund, cool. Credit scores and impact on financing. So credit limits, loan terms, improving credit score. All right. So as far as credit scores is concerned, this is the easiest, simplest way. And again, I'll do a more in-depth video just on credit scores, but the higher the score, the lower the down payment and interest rate. The lower the score, the higher the down payment and the higher the interest rate. Does that make sense? High score, low down, low interest. Low score, high down, high interest. That's pretty self-explanatory, but at the end of the day, interest doesn't matter. I know that sounds stupid. You guys put hashtag, this guy's crazy. I'm cool with it. Interest is irrelevant, because if you need the cash to buy, let's say, especially a home, and we make you a plan to pay the house off early, it don't matter if your interest is high, because you're going to not pay the majority of that interest anyways, because you're going to pay the house off early. And it's not hard to pay a house off early. Again, I'll do an entire different video on how to pay off a $100,000, $200,000 house off with like literal effort. So again, credit scores, high credit score, low down, low rate, low credit score, high down, high rate. Impact on terms, again, better scores get better rates. Improving credit scores. At the end of the day, guys, try not to go, if you haven't bought anything on credit yet, outside of like, let's just say a credit card, don't go buy a car before you buy a house. Okay. Buying a house first will not affect the car you want to buy. Buying the car you want will affect the house you want to buy. So you do not want to end up in a smaller house because you just went and bought that brand new 2025 Escalade. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do that. I'm just saying always buy your big purchase first, which is you're going to be your home before you go and take anything else. The importance of a pre-approval. Again, that's the reason we don't take any deposits. Again, right here, boom, apply now. Let me get you your max approval, your minimum down, because it strengthens your position up here in your mind. Because once you know you're approved, you're like, okay, cool. Then the stress is gone. I was worried I couldn't do it. John got it done, or Factory Direct did, move it next. Plus, it makes the process a lot faster, and it lets you understand what your buying power is, how much down you need, what the payment's going to be, all that good stuff. Okay. All right. So then as far as, approved. So being pre-approved means that based on what they saw on the application, they're willing to approve you, but you still got to turn in your basic items: ID, social, 30 days of check stubs, last 2 years of W-2s. If you're self-employed, your last 2 years of Schedule Cs and 1040s. Again, I'll make a whole nother video about that, but it's always best to have an approval. Nobody wants to say, hey, let me apply today. Can you move me in next year? No, everybody wants to move in right now today. So we streamline the process faster than anybody. We'll be breaking down, understanding your budget. We'll break down what it means. Hey, this is what this means. This is what this means. This is the kind of homes you can do. This is what your rate is, all that good stuff. All right. Common mistakes to avoid when financing a home. Don't go shopping around. There's no reason to shop 50 places and waste your time when here at Move In Next, we can get you 10 approvals in, in one application and get you any home on the market from anywhere. Understanding the total cost, we're always going to be up front and tell you, hey, here's the breakdown of everything, and never ignore the pre-approval. Because if you get a pre-approval and you take a week to reply with the thousands of applications they got coming in, they're going to put you to the back of the line. And I don't mean us, I mean the lenders. All right, not shopping around. It says the importance of comparing multiple lenders to find the best rates and terms. We will shop you to the lender so you don't have to. So you don't have to go to 10 places to get 10 approvals. Come here, we'll get you all the approvals. Understanding the total cost. Remember that we always, give you the pre-approval. We break it down. We say, hey, here's the home, here's the insurance, here's the taxes, to make you feel comfortable. So if you guys have specific questions when it comes to the home buying process, we're the place to come. All right. Ignoring the pre-approval. Again, if they hand you what you wanted, why would you just sit on it and wait on it? Slow feet don't eat, and slow feet don't move into new homes. So let's make it happen, guys. Quit stalling. All right. Q&As. So here, basically at the very end, if you guys have any questions about the finances, again, I went kind of quickly over it because, again, at the same time, it's a lot of information, but I want to give you guys a good overview and grasp of, again, the financial insights of buying a house. All right. So real quickly, because I know I've been talking for about 20 minutes. If you guys have any questions, make sure you drop them in the comment box. I will respond personally. You can also text me directly at 432-201-1105. Call, text me, email me, whatever you prefer to do. But again, today was financial insights for buyers, and we went over a lot of info, which I will do individual videos on. Okay. So I'm going to quickly, over the next 60 seconds or 90 seconds, highlight the homes that we have available still. So just to kind of point out, we have that Stanton home out there in Stanton. It's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 32 by 60. I want to give a shout out to Letty Sullivan. She is the real estate agent on this deal. We had our second showing today, which means we have an interested buyer in it, which is amazing. And obviously, if you need a real estate agent, Letty Sullivan is the person to reach out to. 432-260-6757. I put her logo over here to the side. She got some amazing signs. Also, you can apply at the QR code and you can select her from the list as well. But I definitely wanted to give her a shout out because, again, it looks like she's my real estate agent on this. I've been working on it, and it looks like she already got it closed for us. So I'm super, super excited and want to give her a special shout out for that because I really do appreciate all of her help. Okay, so then moving over to the 2019 broker home that we have out in West Odessa. All right, That house is a 16 by 76, 3-bed, 2-bath Cavco. It's worth $94,900 and it's on sale for $79,900. Matter of fact, whoever applies for this house today, I will pay $5,000 of that house and lower it down to $75,000 even. So let's get this home sold. QR code, the link, it's ready to move in. It's at 12629 West Treva Drive. That's in Odessa. Call or text us directly so we can set up a viewing for you. Okay. All right. We also have those spaces outside in Stonegate. I always like to show the overview of this community because it's such a beautiful community. We have that 2023 Lila. Again, it's worth $129,000. It's for $109,995. Beautiful condition, gorgeous home. It's already ready to move in. It's on lot 216. We're ready to make it yours. So let's make it happen. We also have 2 spots in front of 216. So we basically have, just talking about Stonegate, we have 216. That's that Lila you just saw. Then right across the street, we have 219 and 217. Corner lot, we can fit up to an 18 by 76. We can order one. We have local inventory we can grab for you, whatever it is that you prefer. So we can move you in right away into the best community in Midland, or one of the best. And then we have 217, which we can do a 16 by 76. We also have those that we can pull from the factory already. Again, guys, whatever you need, we got you covered. 432-201-1105. John Madrid with Factory Direct.